Hi and welcome, I'm King Lucid, Stephen G. Johnson, published author of Instincts Rising to Extinction. Let's talk about instincts. Let's just start off by saying I did not do this alone. I wrote the book alone, but the ideas were community effort. I was helped by Mariah, I guess, Audrey, Nina, and Dave. They helped out a lot. The origin of this story, eventually, like, some far off distant land, it was supposed to be like a parody or spin-off of Hunger Games because we wanted to have a script, and then a story came from that script, and then there was another script to hopefully be better than the first, and then there was another story that had potential, so it just kept going. Another script came out of that and was immediately thrown into the garbage. Man, no, we're not gonna start with man. Earth is dying. Earth is dying. You got war, all this radioactive stuff, people are littering, there's garbage, global warming, all this stuff. Earth is dying and there's no way to save it. The only way to get to the identical planet that's out there, that's been found, is through two wormholes, born 2 generations in space, and you basically need to know how to protect yourself. So Mans, a governmental company, was given permission by the government to kidnap kids, give them abilities, and test them. And it's important that it's kids that are taken, because you can teach a kid something, and when they grow up still knowing that thing, it's no longer something they have to think about. It becomes muscle memory, and if they have to keep going, it becomes more than muscle memory, it becomes instinct. And if they can protect themselves without having to think about it, all they have to think about is helping the humans who are not like them get to the other planet. So they're given permission to do this. They kidnap some kids. Tressa, Mariah, Aluminum, Audrey, Scar, Nina, Kid, Dave, Stefan, me. There was something very important I had to say here. They kidnap these kids, and they have to take apart bits of their memory so that when they get out there, they're not thinking like, okay, well, I mean, we don't have to try that hard, we're not actually in danger. But you take away that one thought, and they're just, we are going to die, and I am not going to die here. But they have that mindset, and they escape. And Jonathan, which is the brother of Charles, who is the owner of Mans, the main guy of Mans, Jonathan's like, yeah, I feel like we're doing something wrong here. And Charles is like, they escaped. I don't remember if that was the actual plan, but they are gone. I'm gonna go get them back. And Jonathan's like, no, just, we need to do this differently. We need to do it with 1, not 5. And Charles is like, I'm gonna go call the guards. He sends a ton of guards out there to go get them. And in this escape, Tressa dies. I won't tell you how she dies, even though there's spoiler alerts throughout this entire video. Tressa dies. Her essence, spirit, whatever you want to call it, latches onto Aluminum and Stefano. And while they're running away from these guards, Kid, he stops. He's like, they're not gonna stop chasing you. I'm gonna slow them down because they're way too close. So he takes his mighty warhammer and his super strength, and he breaks down a bunch of trees and blocks the path so Stefano and Aluminum cannot come back to Mans. And he sacrifices himself. Aluminum, Stefano, Scarlet, which is a clone of Scar, which is Scar Origins, something completely different that I will explain later when another element is introduced. So those 3, they're just camping along, trying to survive, getting further and further away from Mans. And Kid, he eventually wakes up, and he's also got healing ability. So he wakes up covered in blood. He's like, Jonathan had some people that helped us escape. I definitely didn't mention that, but I didn't know. Jonathan had some people that helped us escape, so he's good. Charles definitely just tried to kill us. He's bad. I'm gonna go talk to Jonathan. I'm gonna shut this project down. He goes to Jonathan, and he finds another character. Jonathan wanted to do it with one person, and that person is Fabian. Fabian is a single individual with the abilities of all 5 people. So Tressa had shape-shifting, and her found power, it was called found power. She could see into the future. So she also knew she was gonna die. So Fabian definitely doesn't have that sight. Damn it. Too late now. Aluminum can turn invisible, and if she swings her arms, it looks really stupid what I'm doing right now, but it's really badass. She can make these weird energy discs, and it's really cool because she like swings her arms and she just like throws them forward. She throws them forward, and the discs, they fly, and they can cut through anything, literally anything until they die out. Scar and Scarlet have adaptation, so their bodies will force them to just adapt to survive. If they're underwater, their body is going to give them gills. If they're flying through the sky, their body is going to either give them extra skin or wings. Kid, you already know what he's got. My character, telekinesis. Where was I? Fabian's got all these abilities, and Kid is in Jonathan's office, but he's hiding. He can hear the conversation going on between Fabian and Jonathan. Now Fabian was created by Charles, mostly, so he wears Charles' colors and does Charles' bidding. And Charles is like, go kill them, we're just going to do it with one person. And Jonathan, so Nina's character, it was Nina in the chamber, right? She wanted to watch with Charles and Jonathan. So Jonathan took her out of the chamber, cloned her, and made Scar. Scar, dark, she's evil. It's all negative energy. She has no mercy. So she was cloned again, and Scarlet came from that. Positive energy. So they contradict each other, one holds the other back. And then there was a final evolution. I won't tell you her name yet, but the final evolution doesn't hold back. So let's say Scar's gonna completely execute people. Scarlet will say, show mercy, or don't kill that one. Kill the rest, just not that one. If Scarlet was gonna show mercy, not kill anybody, then Scar would be like, kill that one. They contradict each other a little bit. And Jonathan is like, alright, so I cloned Scarlet before she left, and I put it into a cell. And the cell is growing into a child. It's a creepy little freaking girl. It's a creepy girl that lives in the walls. And she cannot be released until these two are dead, because otherwise it's just more contradicting. You got neutral, you got evil and good together make neutral. Then you got this other neutral character, or neutral. Neutral plus neutral don't do anything. So nothing's gonna get done. So this neutral character, which has a conscience, unlike these two, which are each other's conscience, can do whatever she wants, as long as she fulfills her purpose of keeping the project alive. So Fabian, he's like, you want me to kill him? And Jonathan's like, yeah, go kill him. Along with whatever Charles told you to do. He's like, all right, too easy. So he goes out there, he hunts him down, and Kid follows, because Fabian can get there. And he immediately, who did he jump on? He jumped on Scarlet. He was like, you have to die. And Scar was like, nah, you first. Huge brawl, and Fabian is going to kill Scar and Scarlet, and they're kind of backing towards a cliff's edge. They have nowhere else to go. And Stefano jumps in the way. He's like, no. Fabian's like, too easy. So he takes his hands, and he turns them into these stone spikes. And then he takes the discs that aluminum can make, and he wraps it around the spikes. And he goes to strike Stefano in the chest, through his heart, to kill him. Kid jumps in the way, and because he's shorter, doesn't actually go through his heart. There's also some lightning that struck Fabian, didn't kill him, flowed through his body, went into Kid's, stopped Kid's heart, Kid died. And then Scar and Scarlet, they're like, man, people are dying because of us. We should stop this. Completely walk off the cliff's edge, die even though their bodies are trying to make them fly. They're resisting the urge, that slight bit of instinct to survive. On the rocks below. Fabian stopped. Stefano, aluminum, take Kid's body to Jonathan, because they have the same thought that Kid had. Maybe Jonathan's not that bad. And they're like, can you bring him back? He's like, I can't. But I will tell you this, I got bored waiting 50 years for you guys to wake up. So I've been doing this project for a while. There's a city right over there. There might be someone who can resurrect him, but over there, somewhere in that area, I can't see it because I'm not like you. It's well protected over there, might be a few generations. Go. And they go there, they meet someone named Jackson. Jackson is the leader with the leading ability of instinction. Everyone who follows instincts. The leading ability, which is what Jackson has, is I didn't really touch on this in the first book. I just said it's more than their own power. Second book, though, I did touch back on. Leading ability is not only the ability of the individual enhanced, it's the leader before that leader, and then if there's another leader somewhere around the world, it's that ability too. So it cycles through everyone. It's a network of ability that can go through any person. That was freaky. And Jackson's got this. He's in charge. They find someone to wake up Kid, which is also the guy who everyone thought was human, and help these individuals escape Mans. He wakes up Kid, using the last of his ability. Kid wakes up, Stefano introduces him to everyone. Scarlett is released, by the way. Creepy little girl at first, and then she ages quickly because that's how the extinction works. You age quickly and then you stop aging. You don't die. You stop aging for a while, and then just like a year goes by in like 5 years. Really slow aging process. It's kind of cool, which also kind of helps get to space. I don't know if I mentioned that. Scheiße. Stefano, he's like, Tressa died because of this. You died because of this. Scar and Scarlet died because of this. We need to go shut down Mans. I'm gonna gather an army. Aluminum's all for it. We're gonna gather an army. We're gonna go attack Mans. You with us? Kid's like, no. Jonathan is gonna counteract everything Charles does. It's fine, just let it take its course. There's no point in sacrificing all of these good people, 500 good freaking people, to attack that company. Stefano's like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go do it anyways. Kid, huge brawl. End up gathering the army anyways. Only about 200 against 54,000 Mans guards. Crazy, isn't it? So you can imagine how that turns out. Not going well. Jackson, he's like, damn, he took a good portion of our people. Let's go do this. So he takes Kid and Scarletta. Her powers are strong, by the way. She's a freaking witch. She's badass. And Scarletta. And go to the fight. Jonathan is completely... Jackson is completely kicking ass. And they win. Stand notorious. Except their 500 goes down to 86 civilians. I don't appreciate the noises. My fridge doesn't even make ice right now. Sounds like someone's downstairs, which doesn't make sense because I'm here alone and all the doors are locked. Anyways, the battle in favor of the extinction, notorious. And Stefano's like, you were awesome out there, Jackson. I didn't think you could do that. Like, honestly, I had no idea. I'm very surprised. And Jackson just walks up to Stefano and just killed a lot of his people. He says, you're going on trial, and then I'm going to have you executed. So it goes on trial. I won't tell you everything that happens with the trial there, but basically Stefano walks away. Aluminum, during the battle, she went into Charles's office and tried to assassinate him right there. And he had someone put a knife through her hand, and she was like, oh, ow. And she goes to reach over for it, knife through the other hand. So she can't even hold a weapon right now. So Jackson's like, whatever, we won't have you do trial by combat. We'll have Stefano do it. That stuff, Stefano walks in, takes control of the extinction without the leading ability because Jackson is not dead. I never mentioned what happened to Tressa. The essence of Tressa lashed onto Stefano and Aluminum, kept going back and forth, so they were kind of seeing her throughout the story. Once they got to the extinction, where Jackson was in charge, they all had to meet their watchers. A watcher is someone who's watching something for you until you get there, and then you have to kill them to gain that control that they had over whatever they were watching for you. Her essence latches onto her watcher because it is identical to her. Jonathan's been doing this for a long time, and he playing that part. All this has been planned by all of them, actually, except Charles, because he's just not in the loop very much. Latches onto her, her name becomes Titanium, and it's just kind of two brains, not really lined up, but in it. And then the second story, it kind of, or towards the end, it lines back up and becomes one mind, and that becomes Trinity. I mean, kind of think it's like a third-person Trinity. So she kills Charles herself. Scarletta, who was basically raised by Jonathan in that short, very short period of time, and already knows all the secrets of what has to be done and her purpose, asks for a little bit more from Jonathan, and he won't give it to her. So she's like, all right, I'll do it myself. She kills Jonathan, takes over Jonathan Industries. Industries Incorporated, I don't know what it was there. She destroys that and makes it witch. Hence, second book. End of the first book. Aluminum's in charge. Trinity is beside her. Scarletta is in charge of witch. Kid becomes a scavenger, and he doesn't really live in the city, doesn't really live in the Rebel of the Witch, but he lives with his own people. But we're kind of like him. Stefano refuses to use what little ability he has because he didn't get as much power as everyone else. So he just lives in the city. Second book, everyone's gotten a significant other. And Scarletta has this mindset that the project was not bad and that it can keep going. It needs to keep going if the world is going to survive. Not the world, but the population is going to survive. The project needs to keep going. And the only reason it failed the first time was because of the extinction. So if they're out of the picture, the project can keep moving. But the project is set up with the blood, the DNA of those 4 very important individuals. Nina's dead. She's dead right now. So she needs the offspring of them. And at the beginning, when you see everyone's offspring, or not offspring, significant other, it's actually really cool how I did it. I wasn't actually planning it. So you got Mands, M-A-N-D-S, Mariah, Audrey, Nina, David, Stefan. Then you got Witch, W-I-T-C-H. Wendy, which if you want to flip it around, Stefano. Ice, Kid. No one, because I didn't do anything with Scarletta on this side though. You got to figure out this one on your own. Cyrus goes to Aluminum, and then you got Hayden goes to Trinity, and they all become married, spouses, significant other, ready for offspring. That offspring's happening real fast, apparently, in the extinction world. I actually really like the second one, so I won't spoil that one too much for you. Scarletta is trying to completely wipe out the extinction, but keep those 4 individuals alive until she can find out where their 4 offsprings are. So she plans 3 waves. One to find their weakness, one to find their strength, and then one to completely wipe them out. And the first 2 waves, devastating. She succeeds in what she's doing. Third wave, Trinity, is a very skilled shapeshifter. She turns into a dragon, and she battles Scarletta, who also turns into a dragon. See, Scarletta's ability is not just adaptation, or instincts, or manipulations, or stuff like that. She can take powers from other people, and if she takes enough, she can mix them around and make her own abilities. And she does this. And using science, actually, she creates a dragon, which is very difficult to do. And she becomes this dragon by killing it. Because you kill something, you take it. Keep what you kill. Riddick's rule. Gets into a huge fight with Trinity. Trinity unfortunately falls. And Stefano's like, no, I'm gonna avenge Trinity. She's died twice now. I'm sorry, Mariah, I keep killing your character. It's just not relevant. But I did avenge her. Mostly. I mean, Stefano loses the duel, but as Scarletta is gonna completely finish him, she gets a machete through her stomach. Aluminum just knifes her in the back. Oh my god, I forgot to mention. Jackson sacrifices himself at Aluminum's wedding. Very unfortunate, very bad timing, I know. But he sacrifices himself because he's like, okay, everyone's behind Aluminum. No longer me anymore. And I still have the leading ability, so wedding gift. Jumps off a cliff, and kind of his essence, more the leading ability, goes into Aluminum. She becomes the leader of the extinction, officially. Stefano was a good leader, though, eventually. You'll see that. I really like the second one. I will not spoil it for you. I spent more time with the second one than I did with the first, I feel. That's a lie. It took 6 years for the first. It's only been 1.5 to 2 for the second book. So she kind of healed herself. She's got not aluminum, it looks like mercury inside the cuts in her hand. And with that, she can generate weapons. So she generated this machete real quick and just stabbed Scarlet in the back, but she didn't hit Scarlet's heart, which I'm pretty sure that's the only way to kill a witch. So Scarlet turns around, still kind of holding the blade. She kind of curves it, bends a little bit. She's like, you missed. She teleports, but not very far, because she's been using her ability so much with these 3 waves, a lot in this 3rd wave. She's been using so much energy, fighting Stefano, fighting this huge battle. She was fighting Aluminum at one point. She turned into a freaking dragon to attack Trinity, who only shapeshifted twice in this battle. She had to convince a bunch of inertians, which are humans, and it's a very clever thing because inert means like there's nothing significant with it. They're not like the instinction, they're inertian. So she had to convince a bunch of inertians to come fight with her. Wasn't enough. So she's low on energy. She teleports not very far away, just a few yards away, crawls into the shack, and Kid kind of sees her. And then he sees Aluminum Stefano right there. He's like, all right, let's go finish this. They walk into the building, and Scarlet kind of backs into a corner covered in sweat, blood. Not just her own blood, but other people's blood. She backs into a corner. She's bleeding really bad, but she's not done yet. And one of them, who has telekinesis, which is also kind of complicated because Stefano didn't get a full dose. He had to get some from Aluminum, and Aluminum, in return, got a little bit of telekinesis. So all she does to Scarletta, plus she's got leaving ability, by the way. Not Scarletta, but Aluminum. Forgot to mention that. No, I did mention that. Damn it. Aluminum goes like that. Scarletta's arms go out, so she can't hurt anybody. Stefano goes like that, curves the metal sheets from the walls, and it goes around her arm and traps her to the wall. That's not enough. So Kid jumps up, grabs some steel beams, pulls them across Scarletta's body so Scarletta cannot move. And they're getting ready to kill her. Stefano's like, whoa, 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 we can't kill her. She's right. We can't kill her. We need to do the project, but not yet. We're not needed yet. They're like, what do you want to do then? He's like, put her in cryogenic sleep, where we all started. Put her in cryogenic. She can't hurt anyone there. And it's like, all of a sudden, Scarletta breaks through her bonds, grabs Stefano's sword, whoosh, straight through Stefano's chest with his own sword. Ow. And she kind of walks around, well, pulls the blade out, walks around Stefano, puts it on his throat, and she's getting ready to kill him. Before she can kill him, Kid grabs his warhammer, bashes it on her head. Sorry, Nita. Bashes it on her head, she goes unconscious for a little bit, and Stefano's last words, Aluminum and Kid, they don't say Stefano, they say his real name, which is Stefan. And his last words, he just scoffs a little bit and he's like, not anymore. And he's dead. Kid gets really pissed off and is going to bash Scarletta's face in this time. Aluminum stops him, she's like, no, we're gonna honor his last wish. Aluminum, her found power is enhanced intelligence. So she fashions this device, these handcuffs, that stop the flow of Scarletta's ability. They put it on her, and Kid goes out there. So fine. Guys, stop fighting. We win. It's over. Look what we got. Put her in cryogenic sleep. And then Aluminum, as the leader, she doesn't have that title yet. You gotta wait a little bit for that. As the leader of the Instinction, she tells everyone they're gonna go to sleep. And she puts her offspring, which become known as the Descendants, into cryogenic sleep too. And the offspring, in order of Mans, is Thaddeus, very weak ability, shapeshifting. I mean, shapeshifting is very strong, but he's really weak with it, and he doesn't have full control over it either. Aiden, phasing through objects is very good with him. You gotta find out for that third one. The other one right there. Katrina, very strong. And Saphira. So Saphira has wings, but she's never flown before because just supposed to hide them. Anyways, they go to sleep, and it's the end of the second book. Third book, this is where it gets very difficult because I still need to find out completely where I want to go with it. So the project never stopped. It was paused. It was not stopped. And they go to this school, and this school is pretty much the project in a better looking picture. the school teaches the kids how to use their abilities to the point of instincts. And then it's literally 9 years of the school. 5 years in the school, and then the other 4 starting at age 18, by the way. So age 18, go to the school for 5 years. The next year, your 6th year, you go to the simulated city where you live with your ability, and everyone around you has abilities because it's simulated. You live there for 4 years. After that, you go to the real city until you're needed, until the descendants get there and they're educated. And then they get to a planet. So Thaddeus, Aiden, Katrina, and Saphira start to attend this school. And then what I need to do, Thaddeus, so they've all got marks on their arms because aluminum wanted to symbolize that if anyone has marks, they need to be protected. And Thaddeus is getting bullied. And one of the kids, Shapeshifter, claws at his arm. And Thaddeus is like standing his ground, he's fighting back, and he like fights all these bullets are all on the ground. And his shirt's kind of torn in different places, but his shoulder's exposed. And you can see the mark on his shoulder that represents he needs to be protected. And with the bullies seeing that, they start to protect him. Then the staff gets interested. They're like, why is he suddenly getting protected? He was just bullied not too long ago. Oh, he's a descendant. What group did he come with? And they see what group, and they have the suspicion these ones are all descendants. So we can start the project officially now. Let's get to space. So a lot of different relationships in this one. This one's gonna be a lot more relatable because it's called Faith High School. Without faith we fall. It's called Faith High School because Charles and Jonathan did not have faith in each other. They kept doubting each other. Scarletta and Stefano obviously didn't have faith in each other. One of them thought one thing, the other thought the other. Another. So no faith there. But with this, if you have faith in the project, which the students eventually do, then it works. So they're going to get to another planet, and then with this planet, I need to get to the planet halfway through the book. But there's got to be something there. I mean, they also need to take humans there. So that's another thing. But with these 3 books, when these 3 books are done, Instincts, Rise of the Extinction, Instincts, Wrath of the Witch, and Instincts, New Instincts, because that's what it's called right now. I am not confident in that title. Once these 3 books are done and published, that's when I start branching off of them. So, one is going to be Scar Origins. Scar Origins, that's going to explain a little bit more how Nina became Scar, Scar became Scarlet, Scarlet became Scarletta, and it's just going to be Scarletta waiting to be released. Because she wasn't there for as little time as she was introduced. She was there for a long time as this little girl that lived in the walls. That's a little girl. That is not this little girl that lived in the walls. It's gonna be Scar Origins, and then we also need Jonathan's journal, which is gonna be he's hearing his parents talk about the only way to leave Earth, and the only planet that they can find that actually looks decent. And it's just going to be journal entries, him leading up to when they're all released, and his death. Instincts, Scar Origins, Jonathan's journal. There was one last one that didn't have to do with those. There might be a 4th one after New Instincts, honestly. Because, I mean, we're just in high school, and the entire project is working up to get to this planet. Maybe the next one should be Life on the Planet, which is also going to have to be half of the turbo. God damn it. Yeah, so that's Instincts. First one is for sale on Amazon for $13.99 if you want to get it. It's not just on Amazon, you can get it as a digital book for $3.99. If you have an iPhone, it should be in your Books app, or you can just Google it. And it's in a bunch of different things. I wasn't paying too much attention to where it ended up. I was just paying attention to the fact that it's out there now. Like, I worked really hard to get it out there, and it's out there now. It's mind-blowing still. That's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. I'm King Lucid, signing off. Without faith we fall.